DRODA の空の兄弟。
Venom. Venom. My, if you ever heard what I heard in the night, what fright must have been a parasite in my past life. I don't wanna ever come down from a high. My soul was sending to the sky. Guess it's you and I, gone, but I'm feeling too alive. Trying to get me out of spite. Someone's gotta pay. I ain't talking big amount. Some kind of physical pain, some kind of traumatic shit. Niggas wanna see dead bodies, probably not there, running with no automatic clips. Moving scatty, all erratic and shit. Niggas pussy licking batty and shit. Oh, you mad? Then come at me, you prick. Make a move, better pattern it quick. I assume you'll be coming for blood. That makes two of us, that makes two of us. Venom. 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 True as a stick up, hands in the air, put the money in the bag, all cash, all cash. Venom. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, hello there. Let's get on with this review. Let's get it. Predator 1987. Oh, this movie was amazing. It has everything. Giant 7-foot alien with dreadlocks, tentacle dreadlocks, hunting people down, killing them, mutilating them, skinning them, making them into trophies, ripping their spines out with their skull attached like some Mortal Kombat shit. Absolutely phenomenal. You had fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger being Arnold Schwarzenegger, blowing shit up. And I'm talking guns, explosion, do, bam, bam, boom, boom. It has it all, man. And the best part about it is, it's not just in a sci-fi movie. It's like a badass war movie mixed in with the sci-fi element. It's one of a kind. 1987, baby. But of course, this is the start of a franchise. So let's get into it. Let me just start with saying that the casting was pretty fucking on point. I mean, can't get much better than Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Bill Duke, Jesse the Body Ventura. You can't get much better. You really can't. I love that. I love the fact that you got a fucking giant 7-foot monster with tentacle dreadlocks with big ass fucking gauntlet, wrist gauntlet fucking blade going around killing people, slicing them up, slicing and dicing. Loved it. It started the franchise that I still love to this day and still plan on seeing the newest movie to this day. Please watch Red Dead Badlands in November. Please, God support. I cannot wait. But let's get into it. So this movie starts basically, as any other action commando movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger having to flex the fact that he's a fucking badass with big ass guns and doing a fucking impromptu arm wrestling match with his homeboy, fucking Dylan. I mean, that's just badass as fuck. They got to go down and do a rescue of hostages. But that's a lie because Dylan was just doing this to get fucking get intel and stop an entire giant huge meeting and find out who the flying fuck killed his team. And fortunately, that's just how it is. The CIA is the CIA. They gotta lie to your ass. I mean, that's what they're good at, lying to you and more lying. I love the fact that this movie kind of starts out just like pretty much like it gets you a little feeling into it, and then it starts bam, it hits you with action. Then it hits you with more like just waiting, and then bam, some action. Meanwhile, all the while, you see that there's something stalking them the whole time, using infrared vision. You just stalking them, recording everything they do. Anytime, I mean, Billy does it. One of the characters, Billy, one of the baddest characters. He's probably the second. He probably went up to had the second best like badass death in the franchise behind Hanzo. Like he went out pretty much second best in the entire franchise. I mean, Hanzo went out the best. Come on, dude. He killed a Yautja in combat and went out like a king. You can't beat that death. That is the greatest death of any human warrior in all of Predator. It's just the truth. Don't like that? Argue with your mama. I love the fact that you could tell like this thing was almost like it was toying with them. Like it was taking recordings, watching what they do, getting inside their head, basically, just kind of hunting them, getting a feel. See, that is what a predator should do. Now, if you reference to my last review of Prey, I talked about the feral predator. The feral predator was clearly a young blood that just did not know what it was doing yet. That's why it took many hits. That's why it took certain damages. That's why it struggled. As where the Jungle Predator is an experienced Yautja that is a pure classic blood with a tribe and clearly knew what it was doing. It picked off targets one by one, skinned them, bam, got out, took trophies, moved on, repeat. Did not sit there and miss a beat. It took a lot for this thing to die. I mean, come on. It took Arnold Schwarzenegger basically giving up his entire plot armor to do it. But yeah. Insane. I really enjoyed the fact that this movie had that this movie didn't try to be anything it wasn't. It had its moments of intrigue. The soundtrack wasn't too dark and dim lit, as you think it would be with a monster chasing you. It was actually very, very much just its own thing. It's an iconic soundtrack. And there are still certain parts of the soundtrack that have not been used to this day in other movies, where a lot of the soundtrack has been reused throughout the years through like movies like Predator 2, Predators, and the Shane Black Experience. As where there's some parts though, like when Mac is putting the flask over Blaine's body, and you hear that sad trumpet sound, the sad trumpet soundtrack. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. There's no other like franchise to me. There's not many other franchises that can mix in a movie that's with action, badass, and testosterone like Commando, but also give you that appeal of hopelessness like you're watching Hurt Locker, bro. That's how good of a movie this is. It mixes in so many things so well. Like, it's insane. One thing I really loved about this is the fact that they didn't just like sit there and they didn't what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't try and be something it wasn't. They weren't afraid to be themselves. They weren't afraid to be who they were. And I like that. They weren't afraid. I think that matters when you're trying to do a movie like this. It does. It really matters when you're trying to do a movie like this. You maintain your own feel, your own style. And one of the problems with a lot of these movies is they don't really maintain anything. And this is a great kind of counterbalance to something like Alien, where Alien felt like it was a desolate, dark, and not this is not me shitting on Alien. This is like the best part about Alien, but if you want a different feel, you want a different feel for a reason. This felt more whimsical, not whimsical. This felt more like fit with intrigue. By the way, that's the first ever Predator design. I wanted to show that part in the review. This is what they wanted to go with originally for Predator in 1987, with Jean-Claude Van Damme playing this character in this whatever the fuck this thing is. I am so grateful to tell you today that they scrapped this shit and said no and went with a much better design. And clearly we now have the iconic design that still stands to this day, as you see right here with the red lasers pointing at your skull. Absolutely needed. Thank God. And I still want Jean-Claude Van Damme to be in a Predator movie to get absolutely, completely blown the fuck up by a Predator. I don't know why that's hard to ask, but I feel like that should be something that should be done here. But that's just me. That's just me. I really enjoyed the fact that this movie, again, was not afraid to be itself, but also that they really kept the action going, but they didn't sit there and they didn't try to stop and explain too many things. They didn't try to go delve into too many pockets of emotion. They just said, this is what's happening. They're going through it, but we got to keep moving. And Arnold was still awesome. Was awesome. Was fucking this movie as you would expect. The deaths were gruesome. Like Dylan getting his arm cut off with the fact that his finger was stuck to pulling the trigger, so the gun would still spray. The gun was still spraying out, and he still tried to shoot the other fucking MP5 with his other hand. Unfortunately, the Yautja killed him, and he heard his screams of death before he died. And we tried to get even. I hope the Yautja cut him up into even pieces. There was a lot of just gore and death. I mean, fucking Mac's head got blown the fuck off. Just blown the fuck off by the fucking shoulder cannon. Uh, love the shoulder cannon. Like I said, this Predator was no nonsense. He was in and out, boom, 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 boom. Did not care, did not apologize, did not sit there and toy and fuck around. That thing was into kill and hunt, and that is it. Killed everyone that it could. You get a sense that it doesn't kill the unarmed. That's what we got. You also could get the sense that it couldn't see past that it relied on heat vision sight. So if you're able to master heat signature, you were able to basically scare it away. There were not many modifications to that yet. The reason I say yet is because in 2010 you found out and fucked around and found out that yeah, they got adept to that shit real quick. Seriously, bro, when Mr. Black and Predators switch from like infrared to heartbeat, you're like, oh shit, they learned. Lawrence Fishburne wasn't lying about they learned. They don't fuck around, they learn. They must have like recordings on the helmets and they get it back to their planet. Like, what went wrong? I wish I was joking, but I think that's what happens. Like I said, if I were to rate this movie 9.5 out of 10, it is one of the best movies you're going to watch. It started an entire franchise, birthed an entire franchise. It is a fucking classic. It is both parts action, sci-fi, and there hasn't been a movie to come close to it since, except maybe I will say, much as I love Predators personally, in my own opinion, I think Killer of Killers might be right in that same range. Prey's right there, not in the same vein, because Prey, I like the fact that they keep it short, simple, to the point, but something about this movie felt legit like, this Predator was just no nonsense. The fight with Arnie was amazing. The thing had personality. It also showed respect for a combatant that deserved it. Unfortunately, Billy was not one of those combatants because it killed Billy very quickly and ripped his spine out. Very much so my favorite of the franchise. Obviously, it's everyone's favorite of the franchise. I don't think you're going to find one person that likes any other Predator movie better than the original. If that's the case, I'd like to meet that person because, goddamn, you'd be the first of a kind. It is by far the now I'm not going to say it's the best Predator because it doesn't. The Jungle Predator is up there, of course. It's the original, but I mean the best will always be Wolf. Anyone wants to disagree with that's an idiot. I know the type of idiots that would argue me on that, but that's their problem. I mean, when you can show me another goddamn Yautja walking into a fucking hospital with double fucking shoulder cannons, I'm gonna shut up. But anyways, something about this movie always gets me because it's just perfect. It doesn't pretend to not be anything it's not. It is what it is, and if you like it, great. If you don't, well, fuck off. You don't have taste in movies anyways. That's what it's telling you. But for real, I mean, even just the part where it has just a helicopter ride singing that song. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby. Like, come on, man. You can't beat that shit. By the way, shout out to Predators for ending the movie with that song being played at the end. That's a fanboy. Only a fanboy would do that. That was awesome. That got me going in the theater when I watched it as a kid. But anyways, I love this movie, of course. It again started a whole franchise here. I just love it. The soundtrack was on point. I thought the fucking action was on fucking point. I thought just it was short, simple, bam. They didn't put too much in. They didn't make it too fucking they didn't make this movie too much. They didn't ask questions on where is this thing from. They didn't show like the government at the end of the movie going, what did you see, Dutch? What origin is this from? Nope. Short, simple, bam. End of story. Will there be a sequel? Hopefully. If this movie's great, let's go. Which, by the way, speaking of that, I will be tomorrow night watching and covering Predator 2. And then we'll be watching and covering Predators on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I don't know. I guess The Predator. Ugh. I'm not going to say it. Just, ugh. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm saving Killer of Killers for November before I review that and do that again because I want to have some material for November. But great movie. If you have not, for some reason, watched Predator 1987, A, I don't know why you're subbed to me. B, because that's shocking if you're subbed to me. But B, please go watch this movie and start down a journey because you should watch every single movie. Even the Shane Black one, which you will hate me for suggesting. Thank you guys. Love y'all. Be good. Love this fucking movie.